perfectionism. I find it comes up intensely when I'm going through big shifts like that. And I have to keep coming back to my heart, because the heart shatters it all. That spiritual heart that we have connection to. That stuff can't live there. It kind of goes back into hiding. Or maybe it'll shatter completely. I don't know. That honesty is what gets us through and makes us available, from my experience, to receive more presence, God's presence. We'll get back into some of these stories too with them. I want to share a little bit more about our bond with God or Spirit. And this used to be very, like I said, intellectual to me. I knew there was something deeper in me that felt a connection with God. But as I went through schooling, which was great, it helped me in many ways, I also found myself getting more intellectual and building a muscle of a certain part of my mind versus let's say, the divine mind or the heart. To me, that they're in some way they're similar. And there's something that's always, when I'm going through tough times, Jesus is such a beautiful example to me of someone who moves through suffering with grace. And he just, and also someone who just embraced his purpose here and really lived fully. There's a scene in, I believe it's Luke, something like that. Let's say it's Luke, yeah, Luke, where right before he's sent to the cross, right before he's betrayed, where he's in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he's pretty much saying, God, can you take this away from me? This is, in a sense, this is too much. And yet he said, there's a little moment of doubt there, or pain. There's just a lot of grief. He was going through a lot of grief. And then he said, but your will, not my will. So Jesus went through pain just like we do. He was human. He had a very strong connection with the divine. And he had, just like a lot of us right now, we're going through a lot of things. One of the things he was showing us was how to pray, that honesty. Like, I don't want this right now. This is true. There's a part of me that doesn't want this, but your will, not my will, not my ego's will, your will. The partnership I've created, my higher self created with you, God. I want that to happen. I want to be willing to open to that. And so because of that prayer and that connection, you could see that angel came in and offered him support, and it helped him. It gave him strength to move on his path. That was the presence. He allowed that presence. And there were many more moments of that happened along the way for him too. I'm just going to ask everyone, as we're moving along, like as Padre always said, this is a healing time. This is a healing service. And there are angels and guides with you right now. And if you can just allow yourself, whatever you're going through, just to be held, just to know that you might feel a touch of a slight pressure on your shoulder or your back or your head or your heart, and to let that healing presence in. So my words are just my words. This is just a presentation. What's more important than that is to let in the healing. Is to let in that healing, because this is real. This is real. Whatever you're going through, it doesn't matter. There's nothing too big for God. You take one step towards God, God takes 1,000 steps towards you. It's just that one moment of willingness, just to receive that grace. And as we move forward, just continue. You can have your eyes closed. You can lay down if you'd like. This is all about the energy of the heart. This is all about the energy of God. This is all about the Spirit of God, which is coming in now. It's coming into the space, and it wants to be with you. This is where we all come from.